Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 days, 5 TMZ exclusive articles, all about Joe McCann, not about Ashley. Monday, fiancé not invited to funeral. Tuesday, fiancé breaks silence after being questioned by cops. Wednesday, fiancé received racist taunts and death threats. Thursday, fiancé texted Ashley's mother. She left him on read. Friday, fiancé cleared to return to United States. 5 days, 5 articles, 0 named sources except Joe McCann's own lawyer, a man who has also represented Donald Trump. Ashley Robinson's family did not speak to TMZ. Her friends did not speak to TMZ. The pastor turned TMZ away from the funeral. And for 5 consecutive days, while her body sits above ground waiting for independent autopsy results, while the Tanzanian autopsy results have still not been released, while the surveillance footage from the Zuri Zanzibar resort has still not been seen, TMZ published 1 article per day about how much Joe McCann is suffering. The last one announced he is coming back to the United States, to an undisclosed location. His own lawyer confirmed in that same article that authorities have not officially cleared Joe McCann. Not cleared. Coming home. The investigation is still active. The body is still above ground. The surveillance footage is still missing. The independent autopsy results are still pending. And the family of Ashley Robinson, who have been working quietly, deliberately, and strategically since the moment her body came home without her engagement ring, is not done. Savannah Britt said it when this started. Keep writing your weak script. It is just more evidence for the courts. 5 days, 5 articles, evidence. Her name was Ashley Robinson. Stay with me. Subscribe right now and stay with me. Let us lay out every single article, because the pattern only becomes undeniable when you see all 5 of them together. The date is important. May 4th was the day of Ashley Robinson's first wake at the Second Baptist Church in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Her family had opened the doors to the public. The pastor had turned away TMZ and other news crews at the entrance. Her parents were standing on either side of the casket receiving the people who loved their daughter. On that same day, TMZ published an exclusive. The headline, influencer Ashley Janae's fiancé not invited to funeral. The article claimed that Ashley's family had decided to prohibit Joe McCann from attending her funeral. It did not name a single source from within her family. It did not name a single friend who went on record. The pastor, who was inside that church, had told news media they were not welcome. TMZ reported a story about a family decision without citing a single member of that family. Joe McCann's team placed that story. On the day of her wake, May 5th was the day of Ashley Robinson's funeral. White clothes, packed church, 3 friends at the pulpit, a eulogy comparing her to Michelle Obama, a family that dressed in white and said goodbye without a burial because the investigation is not finished. On that same day, Joe McCann posted a letter on social media, 26 days of silence, and then a letter. On the day of her funeral, TMZ covered it immediately. The headline, influencer Ashley Janae's fiancé breaks silence after being questioned by cops. The letter called her his best friend, his confidant, his fiancé. It said she wanted to be a mother. It said she would have been an amazing mom. It did not mention the 11 hours, the missing ring, the investigation, where he is, the surveillance footage, the hospital report, anything that the family of Ashley Robinson has been asking about since April 9th. Savannah Britt read it. A lot of word salad for somebody who gave her family 0 answers for 11 hours. We see the performance, Joe. The hotel staff saw the fight. Day 3. The article had a different angle. This time, it was about Joe McCann as a victim of racial hatred. The headline, influencer Ashley Janae's fiancé received racist taunts and death threats after her passing. Sources close to Joe 6 times. No named sources. No evidence of the threats. No screenshots. No police reports. No documentation of any kind. Just sources close to Joe telling TMZ that the man whose passport had been confiscated in Tanzania for a month was suffering because people on the internet were being mean to him. There is no documented evidence that the racial harassment described in that article actually occurred at the level being described. No public records. No statements from law enforcement. Sources close to Joe. Day 4, TRS Day, May 7th. This was the day the campaign turned its attention to Ashley Robinson's mother. The headline, influencer Ashley Jana's fiancé texts her mother, was allegedly left on read. Joe's lawyer, now named publicly, a man who has also represented Donald Trump, told TMZ that Yolanda Endres texted McCann after Ashley passed, that McCann responded promptly and appropriately, and that Yolanda never replied back. Let us sit with what that article actually does. It takes a grieving mother, a woman who found out her daughter had passed from a hotel in Tanzania rather than from the man who was there, and presents her silence in response to a text from that man as evidence of something wrong on her part. It uses the phrase left on read, internet slang, for deliberately ignoring a message to frame Yolanda Endres as someone who is being unreasonable, who is refusing to communicate, who is making the situation harder than it needs to be. On the fourth day of a PR campaign, 4 days after her daughter's funeral, when the body is still above ground, when the ring has not come home, when the autopsy results have not been released. Joe McCann's lawyer chose to tell TMZ that Yolanda Endres left him on read. That is what was important enough to say. The exit announcement. The headline, influencer Ashley Jana's fiancé cleared to return to the United States. Joe McCann's lawyer told TMZ that Tanzanian authorities had returned McCann's passport, that he had remained in Tanzania for nearly a month cooperating with authorities, that he would be returning to United States soil soon. And then buried in that same article, a sentence that his own lawyer put there that TMZ published that most people reading quickly would miss entirely. Authorities haven't said publicly if Joe has been officially cleared by authorities in the investigation. Not cleared. The headline says cleared to return. The body of the article confirms he has not been officially cleared. He is coming back to an undisclosed location. The investigation is still active. 5 days, 5 articles, 1 per day. Each one carefully constructed by the same team. Each one published exclusively by the same outlet. Each one advancing a specific narrative. Day 1, he was not invited to the funeral. Humanize him as excluded. Day 2, he loved her. Humanize him as grieving. Day 3, he is being attacked. Humanize him as victimized. Day 4, he tried to reach out. Humanize him as reasonable while vilifying her mother. Day 5, he is coming home. Announce his return before anyone can set the narrative. That is not grief. That is a communication strategy. Say her name in the comments. Ashley Robinson. I read every single one. Joe McCann's attorney, the man who has been speaking to TMZ on his behalf, whose name appears cited in the 4th and 5th articles after the pressure of being called out for using unnamed sources, is publicly known. He has also represented Donald Trump. That is not a political statement. It is a professional credential that tells you something specific about the level of legal and communications infrastructure that Joe McCann has assembled around himself in the 30 days since Ashley Robinson passed. Attorneys who represent high-profile clients and cases involving public scrutiny, media narratives, and potential criminal exposure do not come cheap. They do not take cases without significant retainers. They bring with them infrastructure, publicists, media relations teams, crisis communication specialists, people who know how to play stories, how to manage the timing of information releases, how to construct a narrative that protects their clients' interests across multiple simultaneous platforms. The decision to name the attorney in the 4th article, after days of publishing only sources close to Joe, came specifically after this community and other content creators publicly called out TMZ for not citing its sources. The name was released not out of transparency but out of pressure. The campaign adapted in real time to the criticism it was receiving. That adaptation, that responsiveness to public pressure, tells you that the people running this campaign are watching. They are reading the comment sections. They are monitoring the reaction to each article. They are adjusting. Savannah Britt said it directly. I know the people he's working with. A1. She is not giving them a compliment. She is giving you a warning. The team around Joe McCann is professional, experienced, and well-funded. And 5 days of consecutive TMZ exclusives, each one carefully timed, each one advancing a specific narrative, is what professional crisis communications looks like when it has a significant budget behind it. what that budget is for, what the team is protecting against, what outcome they are trying to prevent, is the question that sits underneath every single article. An innocent man does not need a crisis communications campaign. He needs the truth to come out. The truth has not come out yet, and until it does, this campaign will continue. Share this video right now, because the more people who understand what is happening, the harder it is to make it work. Share it for Ashley. Let us spend time on this detail, because it matters more than almost anything else in this Part 7 update. Joe McCann is returning to the United States of America. His lawyer announced it through TMZ. His passport has been returned. Tanzanian authorities authorized his departure. He is cleared to travel, and he is going to an undisclosed location, not Portland, where court records show he has been listed as a resident and where Ashley had addresses connected to her name. Not Miami, where she built her platform and her following. Not New Jersey, where her family is, where she was baptized, where her body is above ground waiting for autopsy results. An undisclosed location. Think about what that means for an innocent man. If Joe McCann had nothing to do with what happened to Ashley Robinson, if the Tanzanian police's preliminary ruling of suicide is ultimately confirmed by the independent autopsy and the official forensic findings, then he is a grieving fiancé who has been cleared to come home after a month of being questioned in a foreign country while the world accused him of the worst possible thing. An innocent man in that situation comes home. He goes to the people who love the woman he was going to marry. He sits across from Harry Robinson and Yolanda Endres and says, "I am so sorry. I loved her. I want answers too. Here is what I know. Here is what I saw. Here is what I have told investigators. Ask me anything." He does not return to an undisclosed location. He does not announce his return through a lawyer in a TMZ article. He does not manage the narrative of his homecoming to the same team that has been running a 5-day PR campaign to reframe him as the victim of racist harassment and smear a grieving mother for not texting him back. The choice to return to an undisclosed location is not the choice of a man who has nothing to hide. It is the choice of a man who knows that the public, that 145,000 followers, and the millions who have watched this story is watching. Who knows that showing up anywhere specific would produce images and questions he is not ready to answer. Who knows that his attorney has confirmed in the same article announcing his return that he has not been officially cleared. Not cleared. Coming home. Not cleared. An undisclosed location. Those two words tell you everything about what Joe McCann understands his situation to be. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you see. I read every one. The fourth article, the Thursday article, the one about the text that was left on read, deserves more examination than any of the other four because it is the most revealing. Because it shows you exactly what this campaign is willing to do. Let us reconstruct the actual sequence of events that the article is describing. Ashley Robinson passed on April 9th. Her mother, Yolanda Endres, found out she was gone not from Joe McCann, but from the hotel. McCann had called hours earlier and said she was stable. She was not. The hospital made the call that McCann did not. After Ashley passed, Yolanda texted McCann. McCann responded promptly and appropriately. Those are his lawyer's words, not Yolanda's words, not anyone who was not on McCann's side. Yolanda did not text back. And Joe McCann's team, working through a lawyer who has also represented Donald Trump, placing a story with TMZ on the fourth consecutive day of a coordinated PR campaign, chose to tell the world that Ashley Robinson's mother left Joe McCann on read. Sit with that for a moment. This woman, who found out her daughter had passed from the hotel, who drove to Washington, D.C. and pushed U.S. officials until they made contact with Tanzania, who opened the doors of the Second Baptist Church to a watching world, who stood next to her daughter's casket in white for 2 days while her daughter's body was being kept above ground because the autopsy results are not back yet. This woman, who Savannah Britt said has every reason to not be responding to Joe McCann and every right to pursue the answers she is pursuing in the way she is pursuing them. She did not text him back. And Joe McCann's team decided that this, of all the details available in this case, of all the documented facts, of all the things that remain unanswered, this was worth publishing in TMZ. The reason is specific and strategic. The campaign has run out of sympathy to manufacture on McCann's behalf. The grieving fiancé angle has been played. The racism victim angle has been played. The cooperating witness angle has been played. The only move left, when you cannot generate sympathy for your client, is to generate antipathy toward the other side. Make Yolanda Endres the story. Make her silence the problem. Make the family's decision to not communicate with the man they have questions about look like obstruction rather than what it actually is. The considered, deliberate strategy of a family that is working on this case and has been advised about what to say and not say and to whom. Savannah Britt said it when she saw the article. She was left on read by Ashley's mother, and then she said, "You know why? There's a reason, and it's not because she's a bad person." The family is not talking to McCann because the family's attorney and the people advising them have told them not to, because the investigation is still active. Because anything said in a communication with Joe McCann could become relevant in what comes next. They are not leaving him on read because they are unreasonable. They are leaving him on read because they are building something. And Joe McCann's team published a story about it because they know that what the family is building is the thing they should be afraid of. Let us examine the specific language that Joe McCann's lawyer used in the TMZ announcement of his passport return, because every word was chosen, and not all of them are true. The lawyer said McCann remained in Tanzania for nearly a month, cooperating with authorities. Let us think about what that actually means. McCann's passport was confiscated by Tanzanian authorities after Ashley Robinson passed. He was questioned as a witness. His movement was restricted because Tanzanian authorities held a document he needed to travel. That is not cooperation. That is compliance with a legal restriction. Cooperation, in the context of a genuine witness who has nothing to hide, looks like reaching out proactively, providing evidence before it is demanded, calling the family, making public statements that demonstrate transparency, asking questions alongside the family about what happened, demanding that the surveillance footage be released, calling for a full investigation because you loved her and you want answers too. McCann did none of those things. He was silent for 26 days. He was in Tanzania because he had to be, because his passport was held, not because he chose to stay and cooperate. He did not issue a statement until the day of her funeral, a statement that Savannah Britt correctly identified as word salad with no information inside it. And now his lawyer is describing 30 days of required presence in a foreign country as nearly a month cooperating with authorities. That is the language of a publicist. That is the language of someone building a narrative about a client's behavior that does not match the observable record of that behavior. The observable record is this. The family did not hear from McCann. Savannah Britt did not hear from McCann. Joe Budden, who attended the wake and loved Ashley, has not said a word about McCann reaching out. The family commissioned their own independent autopsy because the official process was not producing the answers they needed. The body has not been buried because the investigation is not over. That is what 30 days of cooperating with authorities has produced for the family of Ashley Robinson. Nothing. And an undisclosed location. Buried inside the 5th TMZ article, the one announcing that McCann is coming back to the United States, is the most important sentence in all 5 articles. Authorities haven't said publicly if Joe has been officially cleared by authorities in the investigation. That sentence is there because his own lawyer put it there. It is there because the alternative, claiming he had been cleared when he has not been, would be a provably false statement that could expose the lawyer to consequences. So they published it, carefully worded, buried inside a paragraph that also says, but clearly Joe's not under intense suspicion if they're letting him leave. That last clause is the manipulation. The first clause is the legal truth. He has not been officially cleared. Let us be specific about what that means. An official clearance from the investigation would mean that Tanzanian authorities have concluded their inquiry, determined a cause and manner of death, and formally stated that Joe McCann bears no responsibility or criminal liability for what happened to Ashley Robinson. That has not happened. What has happened is that Tanzanian authorities reached a point in their investigation, approximately 30 days in, where they returned his passport and authorized his travel. This can happen for many reasons. Investigators may have gathered the testimony and evidence they need from him at this stage. They may have determined that holding him further requires a legal basis they do not yet have. They may be allowing him to leave while continuing to investigate other aspects of the case. The surveillance footage, the autopsy findings, the witness accounts that do not require his physical presence in Tanzania. His departure does not close the case. The independent autopsy commissioned by the family, conducted in the United States, is still pending results. The official Tanzanian autopsy results have still not been released publicly or to the family. The surveillance footage from the Zuri Zanzibar resort, the cameras that could show exactly what happened on the night of April 8th, where McCann went, when he went, and what happened before Ashley was found, has still not been confirmed as reviewed or released. The engagement ring, the one placed on her finger on April 3rd and not returned with her body, is still somewhere that is not with her family. He is not cleared. He is coming home. Those are two different things. And Ashley Robinson's body is still above ground because her family knows the difference. Share this video right now for Ashley because the investigation is still active and the world needs to keep watching. Share it. In the noise of 5 consecutive TMZ articles, in the coverage of McCann's letter and the racist taunts article and the left on red smear and the passport announcement, one piece of evidence has been almost entirely absent from the conversation. The surveillance footage. The Zuri Zanzibar resort is a luxury property. It has cameras. It has the kind of security infrastructure that a hotel charging nearly $1,000 per night installs to protect its guests and its liability. Entrance points, walkways, villa access areas, common spaces. Those cameras were running on the night of April 8th, 2026. They captured what happened in that resort during the hours between when hotel management separated Ashley Robinson and Joe McCann into different villas and when hotel staff found Ashley unconscious. They captured where McCann went after the separation, what time he moved, whether he went directly to Villa 65 as the separation required, whether he stayed there, when he left, what time he returned to the area of Ashley's villa. The complete movement record of everyone in that resort during the window that matters most. Harry Robinson said it plainly, and it has never been addressed by anyone on Joe McCann's side. There are cameras everywhere at a resort. And that will match the timeline. Those cameras are either in the possession of Tanzanian investigators, in which case the footage exists as evidence in an active investigation, or they have been reviewed and their contents are part of what investigators know that the public does not yet know. 5 TMZ articles. Not one of them about the surveillance footage, not one question to Joe McCann's lawyer about what the cameras showed. Not one word in the narrative that his team is constructing about the physical record that exists in that resort of what happened on the night Ashley Robinson was found. The surveillance footage is not a rumor. It is a documented physical reality of a luxury hotel that existed on that night. And the silence around it from McCann's team, from TMZ, from the 5 consecutive articles that have covered every possible angle of how much McCann is suffering, is the most important silence in this entire case. The body is above ground. The footage exists. The family is waiting. And Joe McCann is going to an undisclosed location. This is the part that requires the most careful reading of what has been said and not said over the past 30 days. Harry Robinson and Yolanda Endres have made choices about how to handle this case that have confused some people online. They have not been to Tanzania. They have stopped giving media interviews. They have chosen not to respond to Joe McCann's texts. They have allowed content creators and social media to carry the public pressure campaign while they quietly, deliberately, behind closed doors, do something else. What they are doing became clearer in the days after the funeral. They commissioned an independent autopsy. The results are still pending. They have not buried Ashley. The body is being preserved. They have legal representation. The family has an attorney and is being advised on what to say and not say and to whom. None of these are the actions of a family that has accepted a conclusion. None of these are the actions of people who are going to let this case close quietly. Savannah Britt, who was inside that church, who has been in contact with the family, who started this entire international story with 2 Twitter posts, said something that is the key to understanding the family's strategy. Just wait. It's not over. I promise you it is not over. She said it in response to the news that McCann's passport had been returned. She did not say it with despair. She said it with the specific confidence of someone who knows something that the public does not yet know, who understands that the family's silence is not defeat, it is strategy, that every article McCann's team publishes is being documented, that the independent autopsy will produce results, that the surveillance footage exists, that the body is being kept for a reason. Keep writing your weak script. It is just more evidence for the courts. Savannah Britt made a prediction before any of the 5 TMZ articles appeared. She said the PR campaign would come in waves. That after the initial articles, the letter, the sympathy pieces, there would be a pause to measure the response and then a second wave. She predicted it before it happened. And then it happened. 4 articles in 4 days. A 5th on Friday. She also made another prediction that has not yet materialized. She said to expect negative stories about Ashley Robinson. Stories designed to create doubt about who she was. To complicate the public sympathy, to suggest that the situation was more complicated than it appears and that Ashley was not simply the victim she has been portrayed as. Watch for that. When it comes, and Savannah Britt believes it will come, it will follow the same pattern. TMZ exclusive. Sources close to Joe. Careful language. Designed to make you pause. To make you wonder. To soften the certainty of a community that has been saying, we are not going to stop. Since a friend stood at a pulpit in New Jersey and said exactly that. The response is simple. Remember who Ashley Robinson was. Remember the program that listed Drake and Freddie Gibbs and Shaggy. Remember the eulogy that compared her to Michelle Obama. Remember the friend who said she used to tell people, you better talk about me and post good pictures of me. Remember the family dressed in white who did not bury their daughter because the investigation is not over. Remember that she was 31 years old. That she was baptized in the Second Baptist Church. That she was exactly where she needed to be. And remember that whatever comes next from whoever publishes it, it is a PR campaign running out of moves. The surveillance footage still exists. The independent autopsy results are still coming. The body is still above ground, and the family is still working. Her name was Ashley Robinson. Sunrise, April 5th, 1995. Sunset, April 9th, 2026. 5 TMZ articles in 5 days could not change who she was. A letter posted on the day of her funeral could not answer the questions her family is asking. A passport returned after 30 days does not close an investigation that is still active. She is still above ground. Her ring is still in Tanzania. The surveillance footage still exists. Her mother did not text him back. And Savannah Britt is right. Keep writing your weak script. It is just more evidence for the courts. When the independent autopsy results come, this channel will cover them. When the surveillance footage is addressed, this channel will cover it. When the family is ready to tell the world what they have been building in the 30 days since she came home, this channel will be here for Ashley. Say her name in the comments. Ashley Robinson. Ashley Janae. She was exactly where she needed to be. She deserved to come home with the truth. If you or someone you know is struggling, please call or text 988. What do you think the family has been quietly building these past 30 days? Tell me below. I will see you in the next one.